Hey, Janet. So you were first this time. Zelfia, good evening. April, thank you for joining us. Hey, Commissioner Gator, missed you today. Good to see Margarita on. Tawana, wow, happy New Year to you. Alma is on with us. Always good to see Barbara Dolores. Mardell, yes, good evening and happy Friday. Alicia, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Gloria says hello to everyone. Always glad to see you. Monica says good evening. Let me see, get this right. First this time. Delphia, good evening. April. All right. E. Joyce Paris on with us every single week. Good to see you. Stacy says hey, and I say hey back. Hope you are doing well, Stacy. Uh, Good to see Diana. Good to see you. Cheryl is on with us. And Barbara, it is all the way Friday Live. Selma is on with us. Hello. And Lieta Deo E. Hall is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Good to see Angela Benton on with us. Andrew, hello. Good to see you. Joya is on with us. So we're glad to see her, which means Richard should be right next to her. Good to see Laura Renee is on time tonight. So thank you. Good to see you, Laura. And yes, Richard has shown up. Good to see Vandalyn Johnson on with us. Good to see you. Hello. Hello. Aunt Ollie is on with us as well. Good to see Glenda Jones. Had a chance to see her yesterday. She showed up at council meeting and stayed the whole meeting. So good to see you. And of course, everybody's favorite Bunny Ware is here, and I will reveal that soon. And then Kenny Flo is here, my New York brother, my Alpha brother. Always good to see you, sir. Hope all is going well for you in Colorado. Hope it's not snowing. John is on with us. Hey, John. And then David Minkowitz. So, yeah, David, you told me 14 points. It was a bunch more points. And thank you for all the Bulldog gear. I appreciate that. Good to see Miss Julia Pierce on as well, who's always doing great things out in Tybee Island. So it's always good to see her on with us, and excited to see her. Iron Bull is on with us as well. Miss Barbara Kaufman is on. I hope that you are doing better and feeling better. Ann Langley is on. Hey, Ann, hope you're doing well. And hey, let's see. Linda Kelly is on with us. Happy date night. And good to see Rob Harrison. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I will hope to come and join the First Baptist Church of Savannah. I hope to join you soon. Look forward to that. Thank you for the invitation. Marjorie Young, Miss Small Business herself, she's on with us. Very happy to see her, and I am not sure. I have a couple of conflicts, but the 5K MO race is happening. Good to see Elizabeth Clark on with us as well. And Barbara Kaufman is doing better, so I'm going to give her some love because she is doing better. So y'all give Miss Barbara some love. We're glad that she is doing better. Good to see Rashawn Williams on with us. Good to see you, Rashawn. Brent Grant has joined us. Brent, I have not seen you. I haven't seen you this year. So what's up with that? Good to see Sheila on with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day for neighbors. So we are glad that you are with us. And then trying to see what else is on, and why my music is like breaking up. That ain't cool. Okay, let's see what's going on. Hey, Angela McCoy, good evening. Thank you for joining us as well. Good to see Edward Markey. Good to see you. And you're working on the south side. Well, thank you for all you do. Thank you for working. Paulette Davis is on. Good evening to you. I hope that you are doing well as well. Rice Kelly is on with us. Good evening. And we're sending out love to Miss Barbara. Good to see LaDonna Clark on with us as well. And some of y'all, I know y'all watching. I mean, you can go ahead and say hello. It's okay. I mean, we don't judge around here. So we know we have a good number of people who they don't check in. They say we watched you, but we didn't check in. Iron Bull, I will inbox you that. Inbox me to remind me. Good to see Suave Scott, Andrew from the DMV, and now in the SAV. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And Catherine Grant has joined us as well. Monty, good to see you, brother. Hope you are doing well. And Sabrina from the ATL area is on with us. So good to see Sabrina. Thank you for joining us last week. Tiffany is on. Good to see you, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us. And we're so excited. Hey, another week. This is what, week number 3 or week number 2? I guess week number 2. Maxine Jones is on with us, and we're still working on that project. Miss Maxine, we're not going to let it go. It's just a little more challenging than I think we thought it was going to be. So we're not going to let it go, though, okay? Carolyn Milton is on. Good to see you, Carolyn. And I'm still waiting on that project that you were supposed to be doing for me. It's been like almost a year now. So go ahead. Let's get it done. I just need to know. And you know what I need to know. So come on, work it out. Good to see the Reverend Bonametria Jackson. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hoping you had a great day as well. Let's see. Good to see Angel. Hey, Angel. Hope you're doing well. Drusilla is on with us, and she is shouting out Tara. We get to a point where we do that. I mean, y'all are all just in front of me and everything. We're going to send some love for Tara. We have to get Tara back on as well. So, hey, Marsha Silverman, good to see you as well. I appreciate you. Good to see you as well. And let's see. All right, so Darrow marked in present. Good to see Judy Nixon as well. Stephanie, good to see you. Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker. I got to tell you about Debbie Williams Walker. And thank you, Ms. Glenda. It's one thing to see it on TV or see it on social media. It is something different to be, kind of in it and watch and just see the nuances and all that kind of stuff. So, I thought that was really an interesting thing. So, glad to see you. More importantly, glad you stayed. So, you got a chance to kind of see it for yourself. So, we're glad to see you. So, we'll go ahead and I think we'll go ahead and get started. Good to see Zane Beyond Words, this outstanding thespian and poet and writer. So glad to see you as well. And Rayella says her daughter-in-law was the first Savannah citizen to place her glass bottles in the recycling bin. Then that meant I was there because we were there for the first one. So thank you very much. We're very, very proud of that. Extremely proud of that because it's an opportunity for us to kind of help to save our environment. And so we're looking forward to getting to that point. So we're excited about that. Thank you very much. We're very happy about that. What else? Let's see. sending out love. Marjorie, at 1 o'clock tomorrow, the community will be planting 10 more live oaks at Wormslow Avenue of Oaks, and then looking for volunteers to place these trees for future generations. So go ahead and let Marjorie know that you want to do that as well. Vanessa, good to see you. No, Vanessa, we do it at 8 o'clock, when it gets dark early. We want to go to sleep. Hey, Naomi Brown, good to see you. And Tiffany wants to give me a sound out on the progress. It is going to be an awesome facility, our Savannah Impact Program facility. Good to see Miss Julia on. I'm still going to give Miss Julia some love. Good to see you, ma'am. Wait. I'm going to give Miss Julia some love before she gets, okay. And Margie said just show up. Hey, Alberta Campbell is on as well. And Sabrina Ware Wright is on, and Evelyn has joined us as well. Vanessa, again, we are just excited about this weekend. Obviously, very excited about the holiday weekend. So we're looking forward to that. Let me see what else. I'm looking. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Hey, Kiwan, good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. And again, Iron Bull Taurus, his retirement wrestling match is January the 28th at 8 p.m. Carlitha, good evening. Good to see you. Keith Kimball, good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us. Carolyn Scott has joined us. Always good to see Carolyn on as well. And we're just so happy to see all of you with us. So if it's Friday. If it's Friday in Savannah, and you home because it's cold outside. You're home because it was 75 degrees outside yesterday, and like right now it's like, let me see, I'm gonna find out. Right now it's like, I'm all for being one of those warriors, but I went out without a jacket, and I was like, hey, this is it's kind of a little cool out in these parts. So right now it's 48 degrees in Savannah. So 48 degrees in Savannah, Georgia right now. So if you in because it's a little chilly outside, then we are glad that you're with us again here. 48 degrees is supposed to go down tonight to 35 degrees. Thank you for being with us again. This is... hey, Carolyn Clark. Thank you, John. This is Friday Night Live. Friday Night Live. We've been doing this. Guess what? Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, week number 147. 147 straight weeks. We've been getting together right here in Savannah, Georgia, or wherever we are. We are a loving, beloved community. Good to see you, Janie. Thank you for being a part of us for 147 weeks, 1,030 days, every single Friday. We've been doing it. Good to see the Honorable Gabrielle Nelson from Port Wentworth. Good to see her as well. That's 2 years and 9 months. Every single Friday for the last 33 months and 25 days, we have been getting together. And I am so thankful to all of you who've been a part of this journey with us every single Friday. Every single Friday. Good to see. We want to send shouts out to Keith Kimball's parents. Keith Kimball's parents are celebrating 67 years of marriage today. Keith, what are their names? Give me their names so we can shout them out, and I'm going to give you some love for your parents. But give me their names. Kia, good to see you. Thanks for joining us as well for 147 weeks. Yes, We have been doing this every single Friday. And it started out as kind of us getting together during COVID, and we're still here. We're still together. This is the longest situationship, the longest relationship, the longest entanglement. Come on. Hey, good to see Leonard Brown. This is his first time, so we want to send out some love to Leonard Brown, and we want to send out some love to Alan and Rose Kimball. Alan and Rose Kimball have been married for 67 years today. 67 years. Congratulations to them. We are so excited for you and for them. Good to see Miss Charlotte on. And I want you to know that the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because of you. So, Miss Charlotte, you know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not doing it for who they think I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for you, okay? So good to thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you. Good to see Zadana Slay, Dr. Zadana Slay on, and I will give that in a minute. Of course, good to see Attorney Veronica Brinson from Macon, Georgia. Thank you so much for being with us as well. Carrie is on with us. Julie Renee is on. Good to see Grace on with us as well. And we're all sending out love to the Kimballs. Carolyn says it's cold. I say yes, I agree. Janet missed her first week because she was in surgery. But you know what? You're excused. Okay? I hope you're doing better, all right? Good to see Tia on. Talia, good to see Ethel on as well. Good to see Derek on. Thank you so much for joining us again on our Friday Night Live. Week number 147. And I think, believe it or not, I think that Joyce Paris has probably been on all 147 weeks. Some of y'all have been on every single week. And it's good to see the Monica Glass Thornton on with us. Play 147 straight and box, okay? And for those of y'all that do that, you know, it's a little jackpot. Good to see Stephanie on. Good to see you, Minister Stephanie. Thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate you being on, and I appreciate you praying for me. Stephanie, ain't nobody talking about them Cowboys today, okay? Nobody talking about them. Nobody's talking about the Cowboys, so don't come up in here with that Cowboy stuff. The Giants will win in Minnesota, but we're not talking about the Cowboy stuff, okay? So just wanted to let you know that. Yeah, Monica, if you win, then I expect some of that money to be making its way to Savannah. So today is Friday the 13th, but, you know, superstitions only work if you're superstitious. So we're not, so it's Friday the 13th. Namaste, it's good to see you, sir. Now Ruel coming on with this Cowboy stuff. Y'all let that go. But I want my timeline back because today is Founders Day for Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and they have been blowing up my timeline. So good to see you, Patricia. Good to see you, Darren. Good to see LaMonica on as well. So shouts out to all of the women and ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. To Dr. Zadana Slay and all those Deltas that I love, you know, we appreciate that. And to the Sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, your day is Sunday. Sunday is your day. So good to see all the Deltas on. And no, Miss Barbara, I am not hating on the Cowboys. I'm just pro Giants. So since y'all are all going over here doing that, I mean, you know we don't really discuss sports over here, except for talking about the Georgia Bulldogs. Shouts out to the Georgia Bulldog Nation. That was not a football game. It was an absolute bore fest. I couldn't take it. You know, I'm sitting here like, you know, at some point there should have been like a mercy rule or something because, I mean, it was just a massacre. It was a massacre. And so, shouts out to Georgia, you know, Georgia Bulldogs as well. And Dr. Slay, yes, good, 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 good. Go on back and do what you were doing. Patricia, thank you as well. So a couple of things I want to talk about. And Barbara Kaufman is saying Alpha Kappa Alpha is the way to go. And here we go. So I knew once I got into that, yeah, Gail, a beautiful woman named Miss Ann Delaney did this for me, and she got me this because she loves me. And I do want, that's right, I do want to send out shouts out to the beautiful women of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Their Founders Day is January the 16th. That's Monday. So we got the Deltas today. We have the AKs on Sunday and Zetas on Monday. But anyway, yeah, this is a beautiful. This was made for me by Miss Ann Delaney. So I appreciate her for that. So a lot we want to get to tonight. Again, so glad that you are with us as y'all shout out your folks. First thing we want you to do is like the page. You know we ask you every week. Like the page, like my page, like my page. We are stronger than almost 38,000 people. 38,000 people like this page. And so we're trying to get to 40,000. Please, if you do not like this page already, go ahead and like the page if you could do that. Good to see you, Janine. Always good to see you. And good to see Margie on with us as well. So after you do that, good to see Jennifer Davenport on. Thank you for joining us. Like the page. Next thing we want you to do, share the video because we're not selfish with our love. Sean Alicia, good to see you. Good to see Dr. Priscilla Williams on. Like the page, share the page. Like the page, share the page. Like the page, share the page. Dr. Patricia West, thank you for joining us. And then Terry Jenkins, good to see you. Then, of course, we send out love to our girl Tara. Tara Strong, good to see you, brother Harry Thompson. So go ahead and send out our love now to our girl Tara. Three green apple hearts, and then the red heart, that is the Friday Night Live love. That's what we do for our girl Tara. And so those of you that know Tara, those of you that don't, we stay in prayer and love for our girl Tara. Good to see you, brother Rodney Jackson Sr. I am doing great. I am warm now, and I am with the best people in the world, and that is the Friday Night Live crew. Good to see you, Lydia. Thank you for joining us. So a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things, and then, of course, as always, your opportunity to talk about what you want to talk about, and, you know, I'll entertain any questions you may have. Keith, parents, thank all of us for their wishes, and again, we're so happy for them as well. And so first thing I was very, very proud of, this Tuesday, we swore in Chief Lenny Gunther as the police chief for the Savannah Police Department. Lenny Gunther is a good man. He's a good man. He survived a national process, and now he is our police chief. He's a good man. He's an humble man. He's a man who has worked and grown up in our police department, and I think that he will do well in our police department. However, he is only as good as we help him to be. A police chief does not stop crime. So y'all just need to know that. So, police chief does not stop crime. A police chief directs the efforts of law enforcement officials. And so we've communicated, and he knows, good to see you, Renee, that we want officers. First of all, we want the smartest, most talented officers we can find. We want officers with good judgment. We want officers from our community if possible. We want officers who understand the enormous amount of power that they have, and that they make sure that, now Carolyn, we've had chiefs from Savannah. Now we've had Willie Lovett was from Savannah, Julie Tarver was from Savannah. So we've had chiefs from Savannah. Patricia, happy Friday to you. But also understands that being a police chief is a big public trust. Good to see you, Tanya. And I want to make sure that our officers are taken care of and supported. But I want to make sure that we have good community relations and that we're engaging our community in the right way. And that our police officers are using the proper judgment and the proper discretion as it relates to that. As you know, we've had a very unfortunate incident to occur in Los Angeles where a young man was killed, and these things unfortunately happen. But I want to make sure that our police officers are treating our public with love, care, and respect, and that they respect and serve. Good to see Patricia on, and Martha is on with us as well. And somebody else said, Ms. Gloria, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And Kathy has joined us. Hey, Kathy, thank you for joining us. And Camila, I think I said Grace as well. Martha, thank you for joining us. So we're excited about what that means for our community. So I'm very, very excited about that. Second thing I wanted to, and we want to send out our prayers to our friends across the state west of us. I know Selma, Alabama was hit really, really hard, very hard. And good to see you, Renee. All rise. Bishop Jackie Gilbert Grant has entered the room. So y'all need to know how to act because y'all know Bishop don't play that. So everybody be cool and nobody gets hurt. The Bishop is in the house. Hey, Miss Loretta, thank you for joining us. Selma, Alabama, and other parts of Alabama were hit really hard. Some places in Georgia were hit really hard. My sister had a tree to fall through her house, and thankfully her husband and they were okay. So y'all keep them in your prayers. The weather's been crazy lately, and so we make sure we send our thoughts and prayers to them and be able to help reputable agencies in those areas that can help get help to those who need it. Imagine your house being here and then your house is not there anymore. Imagine that, okay? So, it's a very, very difficult thing. So, make sure you keep it in your thoughts and prayers. Also, this is very, very happy and proud. We have gone hard about making sure that housing is affordable in Savannah. And as you all know, one of the things, hey, Crystal has joined us, that one of the things we wanted to make sure was, that housing was affordable. And how do we do that? We do that by aggressively making a strategic goal. And so when we got into office, as you know, I appointed the Housing Savannah Task Force with the goal of helping to keep housing affordable for Savannahans. We want people to be able to stay in Savannah and make sure the housing is affordable in that way. From the Housing Savannah Task Force came the Affordable Housing Action Plan that we promised that came out in October of 2021. From that came Housing Savannah Incorporated, which is a non-governmental organization that is going to implement the plan. And we have been cooking with grease ever since. Thursday, we announced a $5 million affordable housing partnership in the Cala Brownville neighborhood. And we got a donation of $1 million into the city's Affordable Housing Fund, which is our largest ever. The Galvin Foundation came to us. They saw our plan, saw what we were doing, wanted to get involved, and they will be spending about $5 million to improve 19 city-owned properties in the Cala Brownsville neighborhood. And they're trying to convert those 19 properties into affordable housing. And so that's why we're very excited about that. We're looking forward to also the $1 million contribution, which will be used to repair existing owner and renter occupied property, the renovation and development of vacant property, and to provide down payment assistance to first-time homebuyers in the Cala Brownville neighborhood through the Housing Savannah initiatives. So this was huge. This was big. This is going hard. And this is what we've been trying to do. So Very, very happy, very excited about that as well. We're moving in the right direction. Good to see Jacqueline on. Good to see Shantae on. Good to see Raynell all the way from Seattle on. So it must be what, about 5:30. Good to see Sheen on. Yo, Scott Lawson, you ain't speak to me, man. Well, hey, Andy Lawson. Um, hey, and Lala is late. She's been in California for a month, but we are glad that you're back. Good to see Sister Luanda Tillman on as well. Bishop Jackie is sending love, so I'm getting her love back to her. But yeah, I mean, in Georgia, what people don't realize, good to see you, Sharon. Sharon, I'm going to be in Midway tomorrow. Um, Let me tell you about that. I'm speaking tomorrow for the Martin Luther King, um, the Liberty County Martin Luther King breakfast tomorrow at the McIver Auditorium at 8:30 in the morning. So I will be in Midway tomorrow speaking for the MLK um, breakfast tomorrow at the McIver Auditorium, and I believe it's at 8:30 in the morning. So I'll be in your neck of the woods. So let's let you know that, Sharon. Um, Hey, Kamasita, good to see you. And Lavoria is on. Jacqueline Stokes is on. Sharon Bryan is on with us. All right. So Scott gave me some love, so I'll give Scott some love back. But um, this is important. I mean, people think that the city controls housing being affordable. And in Georgia, we don't. We don't. Um, Georgia is a strong property rights state, and we have some realtors on here, and they will tell you um, that if I own a house, I can charge what I want to for rent for my house. And as long as I have someone willing to buy it or rent it, that is a private transaction between two private owners. And so the city can't say that we can stop housing from being affordable. So all we can do really is to create situations when we have built housing that we have dictated will remain affordable. And we do that through partnerships, particularly to like the Galvin Foundation, which they're big time, they do big time work. And we're so glad to have them in Savannah. We're so glad they saw the work that we were doing in Savannah. And they wanted to invest in the work that we're doing in Savannah. Good to see you, Vanessa. Good to see you, Doris. And so that's what this is. That's what this is. Because the fact is that, if you owned a house and you wanted to charge this, you don't want anybody telling you what you can't charge. So we're always behind the eight ball. As our property values go up and people have more for their properties, they want to charge more for their properties. So we're constantly trying to provide affordable housing for our community. Hey, Miss Betty, good to see you. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited for what it means. We have just clearly, we have exceeded all of our affordable housing goals for this year. And, hey, thank God for that. We are cooking with grease. We're moving. We're going hard, and we're making forward progress. So, task forces work, even though some folks say they don't. Oh, this one worked. And it's helped us to be able to really move forward in the affordable housing space. So that's the first thing. The other thing I was excited about, on Thursday, I went and spent some time with Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker. The Secretary of Agriculture was in Savannah and was with us at the Economic Opportunity Authority, the EOA, for the MLK Day of Service, the Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker. There. Well, Debbie, I'm talking about it right now. So are you going to let me talk it, or are you going to tell about everything? But anyway, so nonetheless, um, the Secretary of Agriculture was in town. He was with Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker. And it was a great event. We had the retired senior volunteer program there. We had folks from Savannah State. We had some big donations from International Paper. It was a good time, and Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker. Debbie Williams Walker, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for inviting me. It was absolutely awesome. All right. Hey, Michelle and Mr. Bill, they're on with us. Good to see you. And Betty Jackson wants to be a first-time home buyer. Betty, I am standing in agreement with you that you will be able to buy your own house. Okay? And so let's make sure we connect with you with who you need to be connected with so we can get you to become a first-time home buyer. Beloved, the reality is this, is that wealth is not in cash. Wealth has always, always, always been in land. Land is a finite asset. God is not making any more land, so land ultimately goes up in value. And so if you want to have wealth, you do that in land. And the Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. They did that through land. And so we're trying in the city of Savannah to help whoever wants to become a first-time home buyer. We want to help you do that. We want to help you. And so, we're getting houses, we're building houses, and we are helping with the finance to make sure that it is affordable as well. So, hey, if you want to know information, inbox me and let's figure out what we could do to get that done, okay? Good to see Miss Sadie Campbell on with us. She is the queen of Friday Night Live, and I appreciate you, and she is on with us, and I am giving her love. So we love to see Miss Sadie Campbell on with us. Week number 147. Thank you very much. Cheryl, good to see you. Hey, my brother Mark, good to see you, Mark. Hope retirement is working out well for you. Good to see Arlene Shaw Williams. Hey, good to see you. Hey, good to see you, Miss Shaw. Hope all's going well with you as well. We talk about affordable housing. We talk about hanging out with Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker, Debbie Williams Walker. And then this week is MLK weekend. And so, again, tomorrow I'm speaking in Liberty County at the McIver Auditorium for the Liberty County Martin Luther King celebration. We're looking forward to you all being there with us. And then on Sunday, the Tybee events are tomorrow, so I know Julia Pierce would love to see you down at Tybee Island at 2:00 p.m. Their MLK organization does some great work, and so if you have a chance, go down there. It is a very wonderful, very spiritual experience with Julia Pierce and the folks down there at Tybee Island. Sunday, I think at 5:00 is Savannah's MLK Observance Service. That starts at 5:00 p.m. at St. Philip AME Church, 613 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And on Monday, yes, it's the parade. The parade is back. The parade is back. The parade is back. Y'all have blamed me for 2 years for this parade not happening. Y'all blamed me, and it was my fault. I had nothing to do with it. I don't run a parade. I don't own any parades. 2000, we had it. 2021, we couldn't have it because of COVID. In 2022, we weren't ready to have it. And now we are ready. We have 250 some odd units in the parade. It is the largest parade in the country, believe it or not. And so we're excited to Savannah being Savannah. And so everybody likes coming out. I'm in the parade. I would love to see you. Patty is on from Florida Space Coast. Always good to see you. And so the parade starts at 10 o'clock from East Broad and Liberty Street. And it goes down and around and it goes west. And it ends up on MLK. It goes down Broughton Street. Ends up at MLK and Anderson Street. So please, bring your kids out. We love having you. MLK is a great opportunity. Okay, so here we go. Glenda Jones says 271 units. She got me right real quick. Hey, Miss Andy Lawson, I love you way more than your husband, right? You know how me and you are, right? So a big hug to Andy Lawson. Um, Scott gonna come on my live and not even speak to me. He's speaking to everybody else, but he didn't speak to me. But I appreciate you, Miss Andy. So, Tam Reeves, good to see you. Evelyn, why can't you be here? I mean, why can't, you can be there if you want to. Um, Good to see Rockin' Robin Beck from Kansas City, Missouri. It must be cold there. Um, hey, Dolores Simmons, you're late, but you're here. So glad to see you. Hey, Miss Phyllis, thank you for joining us as well. Um, and then if you can't, yeah, I saw Crystal on earlier, Miss Barbara. Um, if you can't make it, you can watch it on WTOC and WSAV, I believe. But I believe both of those stations actually have live parade coverage, so you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. So that's always very exciting as well, and we're excited about what that means in our community. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Miss Doris. Thank you, Doris. It's not. The service is at St. Philip Monumental. It's not at St. Philip AME. My bad. Emancipation was at St. Philip AME. The service is at St. Philip Monumental. Thank you very much. 1112 Jefferson Street, which is around the corner. So thank you very much. Judy Jones is on, and they need volunteers. Many of you all were complaining because they couldn't hold the parade last year, and y'all said, we'll volunteer. Nobody asked us. Well, we're asking you. They need volunteers. So, wrap up, dress warm, and you can come on and volunteer. Judy Jones or Linda, where should the volunteers meet, what time, and what do they need to bring? They need volunteers. This is clearly a community-based effort. So these mighty warriors put on this parade every year. And so Paula Amazon, I'm glad to see her as well. Barbara says, can somebody turn on the parade? Well, if it's cold, they're going to blame me, Barbara. They're going to blame me. They're going to say, it's cold out here. Why Van Johnson had it so cold out here? You know it's going to be my fault, right? So I'm letting y'all know now. They're going to blame me. So I accept responsibility for it. Well, I think more importantly, it'll be sunny and it won't be raining. And I think that's really the most important thing as well. So we'll wait for Judy Jones to put up the information about where volunteers need to meet. And so we'll go ahead and do that. While we're doing that, so anything you all, any questions, anything you want to talk about, we have a couple of minutes to do that, and we certainly welcome whatever you want to talk about. So we'll do that. Okay, volunteer meeting is at 9 a.m. tomorrow at East Broad Street School. So if you want to be a volunteer for the MLK, if you just want to work and help us to pull this off at 9 a.m. tomorrow at the East Broad Street School, you can go ahead and do that. Mardell says to borrow about 25 degrees from Florida. Yes. I'm more interested in how you got that degree on the thing. So do I have any insight about what's going on with the Savannah Mall now? I don't. All I know that it's been sold to some type of LLC. I do know that that Target and Dillard's and Bass Pro Shop actually own their own buildings. So those businesses, I believe, will remain open. And I don't know what's really happening with the mall. So I don't know. I just really don't. So we're trying to find out. Obviously, we're interested in what's going to happen over there. Good to see you, Brother Paul. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Any questions, anything you all want to talk about? Here we are. This is our engagement piece. We are here to answer any questions that you might have. And I think there's something else I wanted to tell y'all about. But while we talk about that, okay. So Marjorie is like the small business guru, but she's like really connected in a lot of circles. So she says medical professional folks might be moving in. And so if she says it, it's probably pretty true because, she's in all those circles and I'm not. Everybody talks to Marjorie because like everybody loves her and they just talk to her and she just hears stuff. So we'll see where that goes. But I'll keep you updated as I find out. Um, so um, if you think about it, um, Shamika says that historic First Bryan Baptist Church celebrates 235 years this Sunday at 11 a.m. So congratulations to Pastor Christopher Pittman and the historic First Bryan Baptist Church. So um, good to see Shamika on, and thank you for shouting out the historic First Bryan Baptist Church. 235 years. Um, so um, anything I want to talk about while we're talking, but yeah, this is King's birthday, and Dr. King would have been 94, 94 on the 15th, 94 years old. In fact, Dr. King has been dead longer than he ever was alive. He was he was 39 when he died in 1968, and 55 years later, um, you know, so you think about that. Um, you think about the enormous sacrifice. Hello, Jennifer. Um, Sharon says you had an issue with a known drug house in your neighborhood. You reported it several times with no resolutions. Who's the best person to contact? Inbox me, Sharon. Inbox me, and let's see whether we get some motion on it. Now, believe it or not, I'll tell you this much. Inbox me, Sharon. Sometimes um, you don't want a resolution or update because sometimes we are trying to uh, get surveillance is occurring, and so sometimes it takes a while to be able to get enough evidence to make an arrest. So make sure. So that's sometimes the reason why. But inbox me and let's see what's going on. Miss Phyllis says we have a mutual friend. All right, see, we're all together. Rob wants to know what my future plans are for Savannah. Well, what more things we'd like to see? Well, obviously for me, um, public safety is still, people have to be safe and feel safe. Um, we have made some monumental strides this year. Um, you know, we still have some challenges. Um, affordable housing is still a challenge, making sure that everyone is getting a piece of the economic pie. That's a priority for me. We have um, this big uh, Hyundai plant coming to our area. I want to make sure that Savannaians are able to get those jobs. I want to make sure, but it's more important. I mean, I've learned that for people to be successful, they have to have certain things. They have to have gainful and sustainable employment. They have to have child care. They have to have transportation. They have to have housing. And so those are the four stools of the table of making sure that people are self-sufficient. And so we need to make sure that they have those things. The fifth thing really is food availability, or the availability of food. And so, you know, so how do we do that? How do we partner with people to make sure that that happens? How do we partner with people to make sure that people have child care? How do we make sure that people have affordable housing? How do we make sure that they have transportation in a county that does not really want public transportation? And how do we make sure that people have good jobs, well-paying jobs? And so that's why we're trying to do well as well. Paul Dowling, yes, I love Miss Betty Ellington, and she's an adopted mom to me too. So yes, we do. Um, so yeah, those are my plans. I mean, the fact is, um, Tam Tam, we are still working on the Fair Housing Council. Obviously, it has to have teeth, and that is one of the recommendations of the Housing Savannah Task Force, and so I'm hoping to have that done this year. So it takes a little bit of work, some legal work, some financial work. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, Elise says, "Why aren't we getting the Aldi on Victory anymore? We're not getting it anymore." Last thing I heard, we were getting it. I didn't know we weren't getting it anymore. Um, I don't know. I got to check into that. Um, And Marjorie saw a bike bus in Denmark that the passengers pedal. That's funny. But I'm not paying for no bus and pedaling. Now, I mean, if I'm paying, I'm riding. I'm not paying and pedaling. This ain't gonna be like the Flintstones. Yabba dabba do and shh. I'm not doing that. Nah. If I'm paying, I'm riding. I'm not paying and pedaling too. You know, shoot. That's funny. Um, that's funny. But yeah. So, any questions? Anything you all want to discuss? But I was talking about MLK's legacy and what he meant to us. I mean, you think about where, and I mean, you know, and I've studied him. Um, you know, this was a phenomenal man um, to grow up when he grew up. Um, 26 years old with a doctorate, becoming a pastor, and really being, hey, Gail, really being pushed into the limelight and, you know, ultimately living a very committed life. 39 years old. I am well older than Martin Luther King was when he died. Um, a life of not much means at all. I mean, his children lived well better than he did. Um, and a life of death threats, a life we know now of surveillance, um, being attacked. And he represented a movement. Um, but we know that the civil rights movement continues, and we know that it involved millions of people of all races. Don't you ever be naive to think that the civil rights movement was just black folks. It was not. A lot of people. Uh, Good to see you, Miss Barbara Foster. I was looking for you. Um, it, it involved a bunch of people, and it involved people not only getting behind a vision, but getting behind a visionary, and people who were willing to sacrifice to do what was right. Good to see you, Pinky. Um, and I wonder whether we would still do that now. You know, when he was assassinated very violently at age 39, um, you know, his wife was left with four kids. Four kids. And let's be real clear, because we only talk about the 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 legend of Martin Luther King, but the reality is that Martin Luther King was heavily criticized by black folks, by white folks. They were blaming him for what was going on, and you know he was talking about civil rights, and that was one thing. But when his focus turned to economics, that was something different. And you know that is you know what it was about. His life was under constant criticism. You know the um, marches that he was involved in and the people were hurt. They blamed him, and you had the news of the day. I mean, blaming him. And so we glorify him now, but the reality was his existence at the time was much different. Richard says, any information about the land clearing off 204-95? No, I do not know, but I'll look and see. Good to see you, Mani. Good to see you. Um, what's being built on between Price and Havisham across from the police department? Um, that's some. Those are homes there. Those are some homes being built over there. That was land that was purchased. Yeah, Shamika, his mom was assassinated um, playing the piano. Um, so you think about that. Um, and I thank you, Monica, for pointing that out. Um, you know, uh, his objections to the war in Vietnam drew him international criticism. But we know now that it was it was the right thing for him to oppose the war in Vietnam. I remember, uh, he came out with the reasons about why he opposed the war in Vietnam. But we forget about all those things, and that's why it's important for us that we have to be able to um, teach our children because we can't necessarily trust um, schools to tell the whole story. And that is why this is not a day off, it's a day on. And so don't leave it to a day of children learning, about having fun and playing Xboxes and all that kind of stuff. It's really more about, hey, Henry Lee Perry, good to see you. Good to see you, Tammy. Um, you know, it was April 1967 at Ebenezer, and this was a sermon. I'm looking at it now. Um, the sermon I'm preaching this morning, in a sense, is not the usual kind of sermon, but it's a sermon and an important subject. Nevertheless, because the issue I will be discussing today is one of the most controversial issues confronting our nation. I'm using as a subject from which to preach why I am opposed to the war in Vietnam. Now, let me make it clear in the beginning that I see this war as an unjust, evil, and future war. I preach to you today on the war in Vietnam because my conscience leaves me with no other choice. That time has come for America to hear the truth about this tragic war. And he says a little bit further, he says, now I've chosen to preach about the war in Vietnam because I agree with Dante that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in a period of moral crisis maintain their neutrality. There comes a time when silence becomes betrayal. And that put him squarely across against the government. And they were after him after that. Hey, good to see you, Anthony Jones. Good to see you, sir. We have to recognize that, all may have gave some, but some gave all. Martin Luther King had a PhD, was a phenomenal orator and preacher. He could have easily just become a pastor and, preached in the church, been very comfortable, lived very well, and went about his business. But he didn't do that. And Debbie Williams Walker, I don't know anything about Georgetown because that's not in the city of Savannah. And you know that, so I don't even know why you're asking me that. Deb Williams Walker, Deb Williams Walker, Deb Williams Walker. You have to contact your county commission because I don't know anything about Georgetown. I don't. Sorry. But the reality is, it's not, it's all of us now. It's all of us. And I think that sometimes we believe that we have overcome. And some people have. Some of us have been really blessed to do the things that we want to do. No, it's not the city. Georgetown is in the county, Debbie. Georgetown is in that. But anyway, we have to recognize that. We're waiting for a new Martin Luther King, and it's not coming. The reality is that it's us. We're still fighting issues of inequity. We're still dealing with issues of inequality. We're still dealing with issues of hate. It might be about black people and how the government interacts with us and how law enforcement interacts with us, but it's also Hispanic people and Latin people and how we deal with them. It might be those that are LGBTQ and how we deal with them. And it might be with cat people and how we deal with those cats. It could be a whole bunch of things. And the reality is that that the war for civil rights is always ongoing. And that rights have to be fought for, rights have to be fought to be maintained. And I think it does a disservice to all of us when we give up because we got over and not working for everybody to get over. And so the legacy of King, and I hope particularly those of you who are parents and grandparents, I mean, if you don't do that, if you don't take the time to educate your children and your grandchildren, and you force them to understand what's going on. Thank you, Monica, for getting her right. Then Martin Luther King becomes I have a dream speech, and that's it. That's it. It becomes a face, it becomes an image. But the reality is that we all should be doing what we can, speaking up against injustice and unrighteousness, and being able to do what we can to become the beloved community. And that is all of us. It's not some of us. It's not. It's all of us. And we all have that responsibility to be able to do that. And so we celebrate his birthday because we celebrate the 39 years of service in our community. Good to see Miss Anika as well. Glenda is absolutely right. All blood flows red. But the fact of the matter is those kids didn't deserve to have their daddy assassinated like that. You know? And so we have to make sure that, Mamie Till, absolutely. It is now us. We have to be the drum majors for peace. And we have to be, Brother McQuan, good to see you. We have to be the drum majors for righteousness, wherever that is. And that is, I think, what our responsibility is. That the King Day is not only a day off, but as Debbie Williams Walker knows, it's a day of service. It should be a way to give back. It should be a day to reflect. I try to read a King book, and I have a collection of his sermons that I listen to. Good to see you, Christy. That I listen to because I want to remember. They're often now, and see, we have it now. You can go to like your Xfinity thing and just say Dr. King, and they just have all these documentaries. Montgomery to Memphis is a good documentary for people to watch. A variety of things. His speeches, you can read those as well. Good to see you, Cecilia. What is about Dr. King's legacy resonates with me and is reflected in my leadership style? Absolutely, the beloved community. The beloved community in which, and I mean, believe it or not, my focus for my mayoral administration has been about bringing people to the table. And you've heard me speak often about the beloved community. And that's where every single member of the community is valued. No matter who they are, no matter what their station is in life, no matter whether they have a home or are roofless, whether they have an education or no education at all, whether they have Chanel on them or whether they smell a little bit, whether they use drugs, have mental illness, or whether they have PhDs. And so that's been my goal, to work toward Savannah becoming that beloved community. And I mean, that's why people want me, I'm going to support everybody. I'm going to support everybody. I mean, I don't care. I mean, that's why we have, and we create these task forces. That's why we have a proud Savannah task force. I don't care that you're gay. I don't care that you're gay. You have the right to love and identify yourself the way you want to identify yourself. That is not my business. My business as a Christian is to love you. And so I'm more concerned about the power of love than I am about the love of power. And I'm going to use the power that I have to use that as power to love. And so for me, um, that's why we created the Proud Savannah Task Force, because at the end of the day, you do you. I want you to feel comfortable in our city. I want you to be valued in our city. I want you to receive what you're supposed to receive in our city. And my job is just to love you. I'm not, who am I to make judgments about your lifestyle? That's you. You know what? And life will be a better place if we just, kept that to our business. That's people. And so I love people for who they are and what they bring. Hey, Stoney. We created an AAPI task force, the Asian AAPI for Savannah, Asian American Pacific Islander Task Force. Why? Because we want you to love Savannah too. And you're a part of Savannah. And we created Ola Savannah because we want them to love Savannah. And we created um, um, oh gosh, Savannah, gosh, Savannah Ability, because we know that people that have disabilities, we want them to be a part. We have Savannah Faith because you know what? I mean, we want you to be comfortable here no matter what you believe. If you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you are have no religion at all, if you're Unitarian, no matter what it is, wherever you are, we want us to have those types of thoughts and those types of feelings. And so the beloved community values people for where they are. And the beloved community means that we don't wait for everybody to come to us, that we go to them. And we're like the man who was walking from Jerusalem to Jericho, who fell among thieves, and he was left on the side of the road for dead. And they say that a Levi, a priest, walked by on the other side. And they said that a politician walked by on the other side of the road. But a Samaritan came by and had compassion. And I want our city to be that type of city. That's what I want. And so I know you didn't ask me all of that, but that is my philosophy. And that's come from not only the Martin Luther King concepts, but also the Gandhi concepts and the Martin Luther concepts of what we're supposed to be really all about. Hey, Latasha, I'm doing well. And so you don't know it unless you study it. And so I want to use my time in this seat to show that government can love and government can respect. For the first time, we have cooler centers now and heating centers because we should have them. And we have street teams and we have day centers now because we should have them. And our city continues to give thousands of pounds of food every year because we should have them. We should have them. And I'm going to continue to work until we are the beloved community. And the question is, well, how do you know that you become the beloved community? And the answer is, I don't know. We just continue working towards it. And so, ma'am and sirs, please take this weekend, take this opportunity to ask your children about Martin Luther King. I heard a child tell me it's Martin Luther the King. It's like, okay. But, take the time. Use this time to really reflect. We have all of these programs going on. Again, Liberty County, I'm speaking there tomorrow morning. Bishop, if you want to come and preach for me instead, you can go ahead and do that. But on Sunday at 5 o'clock, at St. Philip Monumental, 1112 Jefferson, is the citywide MLK service. I think it's a travesty for you to sit on your behind and not come. And that's people all over our community. Bring your young people. Make them come. Make them come. Make them come. Because they are the beneficiaries of the sacrifice. Because our parents know of a time when there was separate but unequal doctrines. Right here in this city, and many of you know well better than me, when you had to ride in the back of the Savannah transit buses, or you couldn't go into Forsyth Park, or you had to walk on various sides of the street, or you had unequal facilities, or when schools were segregated. That wasn't that long ago, y'all. And I want to make sure that our generation passes on King's legacy to our next generation. And so make sure you take the time and come. I mean, it's 2 hours out of your day, 5 o'clock on Sunday. You don't work on Monday. I mean, the parade is all well and good, and we love coming out to the parade, but the reality is, you know, it's worth it. It's worth it for your young people to learn. And how do they learn if we don't teach them? And if we don't teach them, when we leave the scene, then what happens then? They don't know. And they can't teach their children what they don't know. And so eventually, the name Martin Luther King lives, but the philosophy of Martin Luther King dies. Because it has to resonate, it has to live through people. So, let me get down off of my soapbox. So, that's what I'm asking you to do. All right, see? Miss Charlotte was a part of the movement in the 60s. Mardell's talking about backdoor service. I mean, you know, could you imagine? I mean, some of y'all lived through that, but I mean, you know, our kids today, I mean, some of them wouldn't be able to survive that. What? What you mean? Do this? What? Who? Me? You ain't gonna tell me? You know, whoa, we're not gonna do that. As well. So, thank you, Miss Cynthia. I appreciate that. Oh, so Glenda told me to please announce, although she announced it, on next week, February the 19th, and we're excited about this, February the 19th, which is, wait, is it February 19th? Yeah, February 19th. We are looking forward to having the MLK Gospel Fest. It's a Sunday, and the guest is Vicki Winans. And y'all know that's a singing something. So come out. These things are free. You know, let's get our children some culture. And we wonder sometimes why other young, you know, because you know other cultures will make sure that their kids never forget. I understand why the Jews teach their children about the Holocaust, because they never want to forget and they want to pass down that history. And we have to pass down the history of the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, I don't know what they teach in school, but it's probably woefully inadequate to what we can teach them 365 days a year. Patty says in 1960, she walked from her school on Liberty, Savannah, St. Vincent's, alone to see MLK at a lunch counter on Broad and Abercorn. See? Wow. 1960. I'm going to give you love just for that. So, we shall overcome. But we have to work to overcome. Daily. Every minute. Not one of us, but all of us. Doing what we can do in the time and place of where we are. Miss Betty says, of course, we do know that West Broad Street, which is MLK, was our, you know, was our MLK. MLK was West Broad Street was the center of black business in Savannah. Um, we have a responsibility to carry forth Martin Luther King, and not only him, but all of the civil rights um, leaders, all of those who worked, the people who prepared lunches. In Savannah, they prepared lunches for those who were doing sit-ins, those who took off their jobs, those in Montgomery who honored the bus boycott by walking. Some of those names we will never know. We'll never know them. But the fact is, they sacrificed nonetheless. And we have to be. Now, the ball is in our court. We have next, and next is now, to be able to be the civil rights fighters in our generation, in our time. And I believe, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we'll walk hand in hand someday. The Lord will see us through. The Lord will see us through. The Lord will see us through today. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Thank you so much. Hope to see you somewhere this weekend. Thank you for joining Friday Night Live. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Good night. Happy King weekend. Make it a day on and not a day off. Good night.